don't even really think it's even a gay thing, for real. And when I think about it, I don't even think it's a bisexual thing. I think he's just broken. And somewhere, somehow, the only thing that can fix it is a thug rapper's behind.
I don't hear nobody out there. Hold it down.
Listen, so I was out last night partying with Mickey Howard. When I tell you she puts on a goddamn good, sweet, generous, dynamic, amazing, fabulous show, I mean it. I only had one beer and I still feel super duper high. Mickey Howard, thank you so much. Now on to this book's diva. Let's continue talking about Keep the Faith by Faith Evans. Within a few short weeks, Big and I were officially a couple. We'd never openly said it. It was just understood. I wasn't dealing with anyone else, and I assumed he wasn't either. I knew he had a daughter, but I had never heard anything about her mother or what their status was. And a few times as I made my way up to his apartment, I would see familiar faces, girls who would hang out at the studio coming down the stairs. But I had lots of guy friends, and I assumed that it could be the same for Big. We were together so often that I just assumed that we were exclusive, and he never gave me a reason to believe otherwise. Girl, 'cause that's trickery. It's sorcery. That's what them niggas do. I tried to get Big to come with me to church, but he never would. He always said that karma would punish him if he ever walked through the doors. I knew better, though. Big had been raised in the church and had gone to Catholic school. He wasn't nearly as far from religion as he pretended to be. One thing we didn't talk about much was the business. We were label mates, but it just didn't come up. There has always been a huge misconception about my relationship with Big. He was not a superstar when I met him, and my BFF, she keeps reminding me that people assumed that she married Biggie because she was trying to get her career off the ground. I can't remember what I felt at the time because I can't really remember a lot of things. It's funny that I can remember the 80s, early 90s, but like mid 90s, 2000s, I don't know. I don't know. You know, I can't really say for sure. I don't know why that is, but it is. He wasn't a star at all. He had been originally signed to Uptown before Puffy got fired. I didn't know that. I thought Puffy found Biggie. And at the time, Puff was still trying to clear up the paperwork and get Big signed to Bad Boy and Arista. Wait a minute, Arista? That's Clive Davis's label. Oh, shoot. I mean, fuck it then. If Clive Davis could come out and write his book and say that he was messing with men and women, Puffy, you can do it too. It's okay. He wasn't a star at all. He had been originally signed to Uptown before Puffy got fired. And at that time, Puff was still trying to clear up the paperwork and get Big signed to Bad Boy and Arista, the parent label. That's where I was going, my bad, because we were talking about Clive Davis and just, Puffy, just say who you are. Everybody been knew that Clive Davis was who he was. It's okay. It's okay, baby. And now your ass is going to jail and hell. Matter of fact, you going to the jail in hell, baby. Just because you wanna, like, pause. Ooh, I'm going somewhere. Ooh! Y'all finna be mad at me. I do not think that Puff Daddy is. Gay is more than just sleeping with men. Gay also has to do with love, you know, because you could just be male attracted and just want to, you know, give that wonk wonk to a man. I believe that Puffy has insecurities so deep that none of us will understand. And in his mind, that is broken, because you know sometimes I say pussy fixes all things for men. I believe with Puffy, men's behinds fixes what's broken in him. Did I say that right? So I don't even really think it's even a gay thing, for real. And when I think about it, I don't even think it's a bisexual thing. I think he's just broken. And somewhere, somehow, the only thing that can fix it is a thug rapper's behind. So let me expound. In life, you have trauma. It develops in your childhood and it manifests throughout your life. And you spend your entire life trying to cure that trauma. Somehow, some way. The cure to Diddy's trauma is inside of a man's behind that he believes would not necessarily give his behind to someone else. He believes that it would make him more of a man or alpha male or dominant male if he can convince a straight man to give him his secret garden. I don't believe he actually enjoys it physically. I think he enjoys it mentally. Like, I don't think Diddy's the kind of person that would seek out a gay man like a Saucy Santana. I don't believe he would do that because that's not a challenge for him. Inside of Saucy Santana's, cavity is not the cure. Inside of an openly gay man's cavity is not the cure. But, and I don't know this McMill because I don't know you, but I believe he believes that the cure is inside of a McMill's cavity. Or let me say someone else, Columbus Short cavity. Because he turned on by the fact that Columbus Short acts like he don't have any discipline. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's more so something that is so broken in him that he needs to dig deep into the depths of some man's cavity and pull it out. Almost like, what movie was that? That it was like a woman, in order for her to live and stay beautiful, she had to steal the souls from cheering. Am I tripping? Do y'all know what movie? What movie is that where it was some kind of witchy poo, and the only way this bitch could live is if she stole the souls of cheering? And I believe P. Diddy believes that the only way he could live and thrive is if he stole the soul from a non-curious, Lulu, just let me say this last part, from a non-curious man's booty hole. I've been directly signed to Bad Boy, and my advance money had already come through, so I was doing better than Big financially at that point. In addition, I had been in the studio co-writing and arranging and making money from that too. I wasn't hanging out with Big for any other reason except that I liked him. I had heard him rap. I'm sure I must have heard his guest verse on the remix to Mary J. Blige's Real Love, but I didn't make the connection. Actually, at the time that we met, he'd already shot the video for his first single, Juicy. but I hadn't seen the video and knew nothing about it. You know what's funny? That was his breakout hit, but to me that was not the best song he had. My favorite Biggie song is One More Chance, the remix. Man, that motherfucker sends me every time. One more chance, Biggie, give me one more chance, one more chance, one more chance. Although his album was scheduled to be released in a few months, Big was definitely still up and coming, just like me. I didn't even realize he was on the cusp of stardom until June 19th, 1994. It was Father's Day, and Puffy threw a huge party at a club near York Avenue in downtown Manhattan. It was going to be my first industry party. I was signed to one of the hottest new record labels around, and I was co-writing songs for Usher and Mary J. Blige. But I had never been to an industry party before. I was so green and naive. I didn't listen to a lot of popular music, so I didn't know what was really hot. Okay, pause. I had said before in a video, why doesn't Usher talk about Faith? Because she was so involved in his first album. Child, you know how you commenters be. Y'all will drop down and tell me what the fuck the business is. And they told me, you wrong. Don't put information out there that's wrong. I'm just giving my opinion. But the commenter fixed my opinion.
I was crushing on Faith, and she didn't bite. I didn't know, you know what I'm saying? I was just out in New York trying to, see how I was, what's up, baby? You know what I'm saying? I was trying to figure out it. Anyway, look. But ladies and gentlemen, tonight, put your hands together.
It was Father's Day, and Puffy threw a huge party at a club near York Avenue in downtown Manhattan. It was going to be my very first industry party. I was signed to one of the hottest new record labels around, and I was co-writing songs for Usher and Mary J. Blige. But I had never been to an industry party before. I was so green and naive. I didn't listen to a lot of popular music, so I didn't know what was really hot. The nightclub was dark when I walked through the narrow doorway into a large room. I saw Puffy leaning in someone's ear and speaking animatedly. It looked like he was giving some kind of directions. Across the room, I could make out Craig Mack and his crew, gesturing for a group of girls to come over to them. And there were 50 or more people on the dance floor, dancing wildly to the remix to Craig Mack's song, Flavor in Your Ear. Do y'all remember the original Flavor in Your Ear? But do y'all remember when they were sitting in some kind of diner and Puffy had changed his voice to sound like it was grimy? Because back in the day, that was the popular way to rap. Grimy beat. Like everybody's throat had like shit in it or something. So everybody sounded like Froggy from the Little Rascals. Hip hop in the 90s. It was a magnanimous fuse between house music and hip hop. It was more so about fun and dancing in regards to 90s hip hop. That's why I believe Bad Boy was so successful at the time, because it wasn't a lot of shooting. It was a lot of let's just have fun. And maybe we ought to get back to that, having fun. Ladies and gentlemen, Puff said, I present to you the notorious one, the ninja that's about to take Bad Boy to the next MFing level. The one, the only, Biggie Smalls. The track for his song Juicy came on, which uses a sample from the song Juicy Fruit by Mtume. It was loud and pulsating, and the crowd on the dance floor rushed to the front of the stage. I looked around confused. I knew Big's album hadn't come out yet, so why was there all this attention on him? A dull roar came up through the crowd as Big sauntered onto the stage. He walked slow with his baggy pants dragging just like the day I'd seen him at the photo shoot. He came out there with a drink in one hand and a microphone in the other, grunting a few ad-libs. I felt the same way people like Albie Shore and Puffy must have felt after hearing me sing in the booth. I had no idea he could move a crowd the way he did. Remember when I told you, I want you to be able to move me without touching me. That is so powerful to me. God damn it, that Faith was moved. She was moved so much so that at the end of the party, she moved his ass to her passenger seat to her car. The car moved both of them to her apartment to Jersey. She said his ass was too big to be on her bed because both of them would have been on the floor with all the hunching and the moving and the stuff. So they ended up moving to the couch. That night, the spark I felt from the kiss multiplied. It wasn't acrobatic lovemaking. It was just the basics. But I remembered feeling very emotional about the whole thing. Well, you can't get too acrobatic with his big ass. And then I ain't never heard sex putting away like that, acrobatic. The fact that he'd left everything to come home with me that night just made the physical interaction more powerful. He made me feel like I was far more than just someone he'd come home with. It felt like he wanted to be with me on a much deeper level. I knew it was too soon for either of us to feel that way. But that ain't stop your faith. You still move forward. And like I said, air signs, we love any opportunity to love. That's right, Lulu. But I also knew it was going to be way more than just a one-night stand. The next morning, I hooked him up with steak and eggs just so he knew I was talented in the kitchen as well as in the bedroom. Y'all didn't do the booty in the bedroom, you said, because his ass was too big for the bed. You ain't want your bed to be broken. Then I drove him back home to Brooklyn and came right back to Jersey. I made a point to give him some space. I didn't want to crowd him. If he wanted to see me again, he knew where I was. I was barely back home before my phone rang. Yo, where you at? He said. I'm home. I said, I just got back. Where we eating today? I laughed and told him I would come back later that day. Big and I became truly inseparable after that night. I was in Brooklyn just about every day, although it was hard to get him to come back to Jersey, to my place. That man loved Brooklyn like it was his wife, and it was like pulling teeth to get him to leave.
G8Y.